our families, our extended families, our broader, community out of poverty back in India. And so that brings me to my research. What I've done in my research, I basically went to villages and I made sure that they were at least 30, 40 kilometers outside of major cities. And that is where the real caste issue problems are. The real struggle is there. And they sometimes don't even have anyone to reach out to. So I think that's where we need to go. That's like the next step. Once we build a strong community, we need to reach out to those far-flung areas, the rural areas, where people are facing the real upfront, in-your-face, sit-on-the-ground type of oppression. And I think that's the next step for us. We need to be able to reach there.
Yeah, thank you, Saraswati. That's exactly how many of us have seen those realities in India and made it to here. So we are here better understanding to what is going on in India, and actually what you just said. But when you work in there is movement is all about trust. And get benefited and will meet all other fellows. So there is a strong trust building that all our organizations are doing. And whenever there is a breach of that trust, then movements fall apart. And that's also part of the movement. But trust building is one of the things. That trust building is part of the community building. That's how community are built. Now, I want to shift attention a little bit to Malini, who has been doing a very conceptual work around the idea of capitalism and now linking it with caste. And not only that, she's been an activist who has been protesting, and I met her actually recently in Washington, D.C. when we were protesting recently on something. Okay. So Malini, I wanted to just link it up. How is your work linking or addressing the issues of caste? Because when you study India, you can't actually think of not talking about caste because it's a part of the structure. So how does your scholarship address the issues of caste?
Thank you so much, Gaurav-ji. Jai Bhim, everyone. Jai Pure. Jai Periyar. Cool Johar. It's so wonderful to be with all of you today, and thank you so much to the Ambedkar International Center for organizing. To answer Gaurav's question, what I'm interested in doing is really bringing together analyses of caste and race, and to try to learn what can we draw from both the anti-caste tradition, the critical caste studies, as well as critical race studies, to really analyze how these hierarchies are produced, even in the so-called modern world. So my research is based in urban India, particularly in Bangalore, and looking at how caste urbanizes, especially through land markets, and how activists there, Dalit activists working with other kinds of labor, sanitation worker activists, are fighting land grabs in a context of rapid urbanism, of rapid capital flows, of increased inequality, especially to do with land and housing. But bringing that now to bear on the global Ambedkar movement. As was just said, I think the beauty of the Ambedkar movement is that it adapts to try to build empathy and solidarity with the struggles of the people where the movement is happening. So, for instance, in California, as you might have read in the news, and this is where analyses of caste and race are so interesting and they really shed new light. You have Sikh Punjabi farmers coming together with Mexican workers using the framework of casta and caste to understand shared forms of oppression across race and caste. And to me, we must pay attention to these kinds of solidarities, the deployments of language across various contexts to further bring out the Ambedkar movement. And I think the trajectory of the global Ambedkar movement. I just also want to add that as we build the future of the movement, we should not lose sight of the rich history of the movement internationally. So in 1994, for instance, there was the first international Dalit conference held in Malaysia, in Kuala Lumpur, at which Tan Sri Ram Sahib was present and gave a speech. There are older histories, of course, of the international of the movement. So I would urge all of us to read on these histories, to tell these untold stories, to think about how to build these bridges. Just said in the earlier comments, and to continue that project.
Thank you, Economy. Yeah, so building coalition, building different association, and I think which you all experience. I can give you a best example that when we won Seattle, and I say the victory of Seattle was not possible just with ourselves. It was the so much support of all our fellow being from the black community, the white community, Jewish community. We had the great support of our Dalit Sikh people, from Dasya Sikh people, and we had so many other communities coming together, and that's what made these things possible. So this is what we want to remember that. And this statue today is also part of that solidarity that each one of you from different type of organization and different ethnicities are coming together here and celebrating this. So and if I remind of history, that it is all started by Dr. Ambedkar, because that how he started his alliance. He started his alliance through W.P. Du Bois and the whole black movement and all the professors that you have seen in his list. And that is what was making Ambedkar a global movement. I want to come back to that what makes it global. But let me also hear a little bit from our guest, a new member, Pareen Samani, Professor Pareen Samani. She has been doing amazing work in the area of human rights and especially on women's rights and women's issues. So, Pareen, how do you link your work with the issues of Dalits in India all around the world?
First of all, I would like to say, Jai Bhim. आपको सबको हमारा प्यार नमस्ते. Good morning to each and everyone. I would like to say a big thank you to Narendra ji, Gaurav ji, Gautam ji, and Nakul ji, who have connected me to this group of Dr. Babasaheb Ambedkar. It's my privilege and my honor to be with you all.
Let's give her a big hand. Hey.
Thank you.
So just a quick announcement. There is a SUV Prop 7751 blue color that needs to be removed. Can you please, whoever it is, can you do that quickly? Oh, sorry, please. Go back.
It's my privilege to be with all of you today. And when I'm looking at all this crowd here, that's even giving me a lot of inspiration that I am a newcomer, yes, but since I know about the Dr. Babasaheb Ambedkar, he has got so much knowledge which I was not aware of myself. I have not done a PhD like you guys have done about it, but I can tell you that my inspirational guru was Aga Khan, Mahatma Gandhi, Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam, the Mother Teresa, and now Dr. Ambedkar has given me inspiration that I'm writing a book on him. I'm a researcher and I have written 19 books, and I think this is something which has given me a new way of looking at it. Okay, yes, I have learned so much from him since I have backed the community of Dr. Babasaheb Ambedkar. That has given me new hope in the field of education. You're absolutely right. My work so much resonates with Dr. Babasaheb Ambedkar in the field of education, in the field of women empowerment and youth development. About the injustice and equality about the women, which I have been fighting and been working on it for more than 35 decades. However, I have to say back to you, society, but I will not help the society on my own. I need people like you who can support me. So the inspiration work, the humanity work that Dr. Babasaheb Ambedkar is doing, that helps me to motivate others and to inspire others. There are a lot of things we can talk about it, but I think we don't have much time, so we will make it cut it short. But I would say that trust me, we are here to learn. Each and everybody sitting down here are beautiful. Your soul is beautiful. You have a power to change the world. You have a power to inspire the society. That's why you guys have all come far away, just like me. I have come from London. I'm sure each and everybody who is here has made a remarkable, important time to come to this international event today, to the unveiling of Dr. Babasaheb Ambedkar. So thank you very much for having me.
Thank you, Fareed. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. So I'm going back to Jeremy now. Jeremy, you pointed out one very interesting through his research. He looks at the Indian struggle of Dalits is kind of maybe objectively different than the US struggle. What are the difference do you find? Can you lay that out?
Thank you. Sorry, my voice is just not really. I apologize. Yeah, I want to go back to actually shift your question a little bit more and go back to the idea of solidarity. Yeah, solidarity between these areas that a number of the speakers have talked about. I started to see that happening in the Valley movement here, or the Ambedkar movement here in North America. But yet I don't see that. And I'd like to see that. So when I was going in the Fulbright that I was on at Symbiosis was trying to bring together people from higher caste communities with lower caste communities to have that dialogue. There's a real dialogue happening between those communities. I'll take students from Symbiosis to the Barista Center, from the TVMSG and other places, the Ambedkar Museum, at the SP Road campus, which was not the campus I was on, to have dialogues with Ambedkar scholars and students. And their experience of the Symbiosis students are predominantly high caste is so different from the experience of your community. We're trying to put those two together to understand each other's experience. I think is really important to helping build that solidarity. So that's one of the difference I see in the U.S. versus the Indian kind of social movements around Ambedkarism. And I'd like to see more of that collaboration, dialogue, solidarity building happening back in home.
Great, thank you. Now you see there is one important thing to highlight, so the voice is not coming through. So very important thing about our movement that in India, Jeremy is finding that we don't have that enough solidarity that we have here. And so this is our duty now, because we are privileged here. We are the privileged class here. We have to help our people and bring solidarity in India, and that's the only way to do it. Now, Chastity, how can we build this solidarity in India? You've been working there.
Thank you, Tara. So from what I saw, so my research looked at 4 different field sites, 2 in UP and 2 in southern India, in Telangana and Andhra. And those are just sort of samples, and now I'm sort of broadening that study with the more all-India data to try to figure out what's happening and what can we do and what role can we play. So what I see is our strength here, as Gaurav said, is that we have people from all over India who are part of this movement here. So if we build a strong community here, if we make those connections here, then whatever we come up with, either if it's aid or if it's idea generation or if it's some way to reach back out and scholarships, different programs, whatever we come up with here, we can then use the fact that we come from all across India to help build a all across India type of coalition in India. right? So each of us has connections to our home state, our home language. I speak Telugu. I'm not great at Hindi, but I know many of you are. Many of you are great at Marathi, Bengali, Punjabi, all these different languages. I think if we come up with ideas here and originate a plan of action here, we can use the fact that we have a strong, multilingual, broader Indian community here to make a more multilingual, broader Ambedkar movement in India. So I think that is key, and I think that's what we need to work toward.
Thank you, Swati. So we have only 2 minutes left. Let me also see how I'm saying that it's कहते हैं हिंदी में भीम बरस रहे हैं आज तो आज तो but you see how beautiful it is that we are unveiling his statue and his rain is pouring down and it's all so emotional. It reminds me, those who have not read, if you ever want to read the very interesting thing about Ambedkar's personal life, the last book which he could not publish called Waiting for a Visa. If you read that story, very tiny student brief story, and there he's saying that he had all the food when he's traveling with his family and all the things going to meet with his father, meeting his father, with his mother and his brother. They had all the sumptuous meal with them, but there was no water given to them. And today we are experiencing this. And let me also cite with this historic event, 1927, 20th March. Right of water. I'm just reading one line, what Baba Sahib said. He said, and that's a message to us. He said, it is not that as is drinking the waters of the Chavdar lake will make us immortal. We have survived well. Enough all these days without drinking it. We are not going to the Chavdar lake merely to drink its water. We are going to the lake to assert that we too are human beings like others. It must be clear that this way has been called to set up the norm of equality. is a statue of equality. And that
Come on, move.